Hi, and welcome back. It's Wednesday and the first day of May. Welcome to all. Thank you for being a part of the program tonight. We'll talk about your weather forecast and how it's going to change pretty quickly for the next several days, and how we have a little bit of a break at the end of the weekend, maybe even just a bit on your Saturday as well, before we get back to another active weather pattern that also could be steamy and stormy. Oh, it's Kentucky, gotta love it, right? With that, we'll also have more on federal indictments, which were returned by a grand jury in regards to a Johnson County man and a Sagersville woman, a McGoffin County woman, also arrested for an attack on an automobile and an individual. We've also got some really scary statistics from a new study about food insecurity, hunger, if you will. This looks at the nation, the state, and it breaks it down into a county basis as well. And I want everyone to listen and keep in mind that this is just the first segment of this here on the program and in the Sagersville Independent, as it's really drawn some concern. Maybe not so much surprise, sadly, but nevertheless. Scores and some other things. Before I go any further, one of the main things I needed to do today, which time and meetings did not allow, was go down to the rescue squad auction. I'll be able to handle this, but it's always better to have someone else doing it, and get an update on all the items that have been graciously donated and how you still have time to get some in and make donations, and how the McGoffin County Rescue Squad 40th Annual Media Auction starts just a little bit after this time tomorrow night. So please be sure and tune in and bid. It will be on Howard's Cable 15, Foothills Channel 2, and I believe on WROV Radio as well. The items listed in this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent, not including some late items that may have come in. Some really great items this year, a little short on the total number of which, but still some wonderful items to bid on. And of course, we always hold out hope that someone will maybe stop by, donate a little or even a lot, and help support the cause. This is simply dear and dear to my heart, but as it should be to all of us and all of those who travel through McGoffin County, and of course all the other departments as well, which they supply mutual aid to, and vice versa. So keep that in mind. The McGoffin County Rescue Squad kicks off 6:30 tomorrow night, 6:30 Friday night, 2 o'clock on Saturday, Foothills Channel 2, Howard's Cable, Channel 15. With that said, also I have confirmed that there was a death of an inmate at the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. As I am told, this was also a hanging incident and situation. I also believe that the inmate was either from or originally from McGoffin County. I did speak with a representative of the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center who could only confirm that a press release was being drawn at that time, and we would receive it just as soon as it was complete. I do not have that in hand at this very moment. There's a chance that I will have before I leave you, and if I do, we'll have that update, and if not, I'll have that on tomorrow's show. And also tomorrow's program, I hope to go down and take in the National Day of Prayer, which is going to be held here in Sagersville at 11 o'clock tomorrow. I'm keeping my fingers crossed on trying to get to the Rescue Squad building tonight and help set up for the auction, and as well make it up to the Hornets and Lady Hornets, which are both hosting teams here tonight, and I'll tell you more about that in just a few moments. With all of that said, let's go on to our first couple of reports tonight after we get to before we get to all of that. Kentucky Safe Driver is excited to receive more financial support from the State Farm Insurance Company. They're going to contribute to teens making better decisions while behind the wheel of their car. State Farm Insurance has pledged $25,000 to be used with the sole purpose of educating young drivers with the goal of reducing the number of collisions on Kentucky's roads. Motor vehicle crashes kill more than 25,000 people nationwide every year and injure millions and millions more. And crashes are the leading cause of unintentional injury-related death for most age groups and the number one cause of death for our teenagers. It also costs more than $250 billion a year. Kentucky Safe Driver classroom programs utilize multi-agency law enforcement teams and current retired state, county, and city police officers who are committed professional, dedicated individuals to saving the lives through driver education. State Farm Insurance, a $25,000 donation in support of that. I learned today of the passing of a longtime businessman here in the viewing area, John Gray, Amos John Gray, 73 of Lexington, as where he has resided now for quite some time. According to a brief obituary, has passed away. He did so days ago on the 25th at St. Joseph East Hospital. John Gray was born in 1946 in Prestonsburg in the Army Reserve, and of course also the longtime owner of John Gray Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC in Paintsville. He's survived by 2 children, Leslie, Kenny, and John Gray, as well as a host of other family and friends. I'm told that funeral services, a private service, will be conducted by the family at a later date. The Kerr Brothers Funeral Home in Lexington is entrusted with those arrangements. And that's all we have on his passing. According to the best high schools rankings released this week by U.S. News and World Report, Pikeville High School was ranked as the 5th best high school in Kentucky based on several different measures, including test scores and the number of students who took and passed advanced placement exams. Other high schools in Pike County ranked as follows: East Ridge 50th in the state, Pike Central 70th, Belfry 118th. We'll take a look at some other numbers with Austin and Johnson and else otherwise a little later. I didn't have this on the calendar again tonight because I just simply forgot. My apologies. But the East Kentucky Mission is having a big bag sale the rest of this week. Just a couple of more days left in it. All bags, grocery bags of shoes, purses, clothes, dishes, whatever, $3 each. Call 349-6912 if you have any questions. I'm going to take a quick breather. When we come back, some arrests and some really staggering numbers in regards to food insecurity or hunger, as we often refer to it in Kentucky, and especially Kentucky children. I'll be right back.
Appalachian Wireless has a question for you. Would you rather pay $650 or $66 for a smartphone? If you think this answer is simple, then the Appalachian Advantage plan is for you. Pay less upfront for today's hottest smartphones, and then pay just a few dollars more every month on the monthly bill. Many smartphones are $5 a month or less after you factor in the $20 discount from the Advantage plan, compared to the contract offering. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless. Payment agreement required. See store for details.
Car wrecks,
truck wreck,
disability,
workers' comp,
slip and fall.
wrongful death.
Your case matters to you.
Your case matters to us. Contact McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by for huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. The seasonal shop is simply wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling, filled with new arrivals and more coming every day. Natural Life is in the store. It's a fun, uplifting brand of t-shirts, headbands, air fresheners, mugs, and more. And they've always got the latest and greatest designs from Simply Southern, including their new line of drinkware for hot or cold. And the women's spring and summer collections are simply amazing and ready to get you ready for the beautiful weather, head to toe. And come in and check out their rewards program. Free local delivery. They'll ship it to you. They're now accepting PayPal, and they've always got baby and wedding registry at Fraser's Prater Drug Seasonal Shop in downtown Sayersville. Your new IGA has fresh brewed coffees and delicious donuts made 7 days a week. Daily made breads piled high with any meat or cheese you can think of. And come and taste the salads, broccoli and cauliflower, cornbread, and their gourmet chicken salad made fresh right here. They've got fruit and vegetable and meat trays made with a little love, and celebrate anything with perfectly professionally made cakes. All fresh and ready for your next meal, party, or event at your Sayersville IGA, where it's a new day, place, and way to shop. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sayersville. 349-8785. A couple of updates for you on 2 federal cases. A Johnson County man and a Sayersville woman, both indicted late last week by a federal grand jury on drug-related charges. The man facing 7 counts for conspiracy and distribution of methamphetamine. The female, a 24-year-old from Sayersville, facing charges of lying to federal authorities and diluting a consumer product. I spoke with Bill Meade of the Johnson County Sheriff's Department a few moments ago, who confirmed that Proctor W. Pennington was taken into federal custody. This was following an indictment that I spoke of earlier this week, in which he was the subject of a 5-month investigation conducted by the Johnson County Sheriff's Department and the Drug Enforcement Administration for the distribution of methamphetamine in Johnson County and the surrounding area or areas as well. Meade tells me that the arrest of Proctor Wayne Pennington Sr. took place earlier today. The 65-year-old, a resident of Ross Branch in the Flat Gap community. They placed over a pound of meth distribution at his feet during their 5-month investigation. He was lodged in the Pike County Detention Center and will appear before a federal magistrate judge tomorrow. Sheriff Doug Saylor says it's the continuing effort and intent of the Johnson County Sheriff's Department to target the sale of illegal drugs and narcotics, especially when it is in such large quantities as Proctor Wayne Pennington is accused of. Also in federal custody since the last time we spoke, a 24-year-old Sagersville woman, Casey Spencer, who was indicted by the same federal grand jury late last week. Spencer indicted on tampering with a consumer product and making false statements to a federal agent per the investigation into her actions, in which they accuse her of diluting a medication called Stadol while serving as a nurse at the Palby Hall Medical Center, and then lying to authorities saying that she had no knowledge of the operation of the machine that was used in the process, when in fact they say that she had used the exact same type of equipment or machine more than 1,400 times while being employed at another healthcare facility. She's charged once again with tampering with a consumer product and making false statements to a federal agent. A Sagersville woman is jailed tonight facing charges of criminal mischief, assault, and others after reportedly being upset over a pack of cigarettes and then using her car to ram another, literally forcing it or pushing it up onto the hillside before found staggering down the middle of the road by local police. Officer Brian Tipton with the McGoffin County SO says he got a call last night around 9 o'clock, that Norma Lynn Reisner, 52 of Sagersville, had come to the complainant's house wanting a cigarette from him. The individual telling the officer that he gave Reisner a cigarette and then she tried to take the entire pack and wouldn't leave when she was told to by the homeowner or resident. He accuses her of grabbing him by the hair as she walked away, saying that she then went and got in her vehicle and started ramming the victim or complainant's vehicle, if you will, until it was pushed onto the hillside. Officer Tipton says that as he was on his way to the scene, he found Norma Lynn Reisner walking in the middle of the road and appeared to be under the influence, unsteady on her feet, and exhibiting other signs of being under the influence of drugs or alcohol, later determined to be drugs. She also lied to the officer and gave him a fake name, and then informed the deputy that she was going to fight him too. After he arrested her, he found her ID with her real name and information on it, and then he found the vehicle on the hillside with the damage to the front of it, just as was described by its owner, as well as the vehicle that she was driving, which was equipped with a push bar on the front of it and also had signs of damage matching the incident that was alleged to have happened. She was charged with criminal mischief in the first, criminal trespassing in the third, assault in the fourth, and public intoxication of drugs, giving a police officer false information, and menacing. A lot more headlines to come. Right now, let me switch over to tonight's community calendar that kicks off with a couple of birthdays, all brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Birthday wishes tonight to Georgie Cheek Frisbee, with a lot of love from a lot of family and from a lot of friends. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Georgie Cheek Frisbee. And I'm not done. Birthday wishes tonight to Maggie Helton. Happy birthday. We all love you, it says, and they love you lots. Happy birthday today to Maggie Helton. Happy birthday to you too. Don't forget, tomorrow is the National Day of Prayer, recognized here locally at the City Park, around the gazebo, or a large tent now that sits next to it across from Sagersville City Hall, 11 in the morning till 1, a non-denominational recognition and honor of the National Day of Prayer. They hope that you'll join them for services tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And don't forget about the big yard sale this Saturday starting at 8 o'clock in that morning at the Middle Fork Volunteer Fire Department. And if you want to set up to sell, it's just $10 for the space, and all you have to do is call Wendy at 496-8266. So you can come buy or sell or do both at the big yard sale at the Middle Fork Fire Department this Saturday morning, lasting till 1 o'clock, 8 until 1 this Saturday. Don't forget the District 3 Volunteer Fire Department's having their big fish fry coming this Monday. It's going to be a great dinner. Plan on eating with them. Just $7. Get you the fish, all the fixings, and the drink. 5 o'clock this coming Monday for District 3's big fish fry. You know that they know how to do it and do it right. It's a great meal and, of course, a great cause and fundraiser for the District 3 Fire Department on Route 7, just a few miles out of Salyersville. And also on the calendar tonight, a reminder, the Magoffin County Cleanup starts next week in the county for District 3 residents. The next week it'll be for District 2, the next week for District 1. Also, the Salyersville Citywide Cleanup runs all 3 of those weeks. Call City Hall or the Judge's Office if you have any questions or need any assistance. And call me anytime you've got a calendar announcement, and we'll tell everyone about it. Birthdays and anniversaries, too. From there, we'll go on to a couple of reminders about funeral services to be held here in Salyersville, both tomorrow. The first for Norma K. Cook, 73 of Salyersville, who passed away on the 28th, survived by her son Terry Adams and daughters Sheila Perkins, Sherry Fletcher, Carol Fletcher, Sally Cole, and Dixie Caldwell. Visitation continues tonight. Services begin tomorrow afternoon. Services from the Salyersville Pentecostal Church, while the Magoffin County Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And 77-year-old Irvin Jr. Workman of Salyersville will be laid to rest following services that start tomorrow at 2. He's survived by his sons James and Matthew Workman and daughters Debbie Saylor and Melissa Perkins. Visitation continues tonight. Services tomorrow, once again at 2 o'clock from the Magoffin County Funeral Home.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. When hiring an attorney, experience does matter. For over 20 years, I've been representing clients throughout Eastern Kentucky. We are a full-service law firm, representing clients who've been injured in car accidents or at work, representing clients who need to file bankruptcy, representing clients who've been charged with a crime. For all your legal needs, contact my office when it matters. We have 2 locations for your convenience. In Salyersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
Just like that, we've jumped into the spring allergy season with all the buds and blooms, tree and grass pollen, mold, and all the nasal congestion, sneezing, itchy nose and eyes and throat that they cause. Don't get caught off guard. Protect yourself daily with a quick trip to Parkway Pharmacy for over-the-counter and prescription relief. And you can always log into parkwaypharmacy.com to have your prescriptions ready when you get there at Parkway Pharmacy in Salyersville. 7.4 million children, many under the age of 1, are abused in the United States every year. 5 die unnecessarily every day. In Kentucky, there was a known 85,000 reports of child abuse just last year. Neglect is the most common form, drug and alcohol use by an adult the biggest factor. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month to remind us all to make a difference all the time by offering support, mentoring, and most importantly, recognizing and reporting child abuse. This message brought to you by the pediatric physicians at Parkway Gun and Pawn. Out the door means taxes and a box of shells are included, and all these specials are out the door prices. So you can pick from these Heritage Arms 22 revolvers, $149 out the door, or this one for $139. This Judge shoots 45 long Colts and 4 10 shells, and it's out the door for $449. 9mm semi-automatics as low as $219, all just in and soon to be gone at Parkway Gun and Pawn. At Salyersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Salyersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Salyersville National. All right, this is going to be the first in a multi-part series. I'm not quite sure how many parts as of yet. We've just been wrapping our heads around the numbers today and reaching out to some individuals who could weigh in on the matter about a new study that shows children in Kentucky are more likely to face hunger than overall populations across the United States. Feeding Kentucky, this story or this study coming out of Berea, announced the release of Map the Meal Gap 2019. It's the latest report by Feeding America on food insecurity and the cost of food at both the county and congressional district level. It is the only study that provides food insecurity data at the local level. They're calling on partners in government, business, education, agricultural, and faith-based sectors as a result to continue working to close this meal gap and end hunger in Kentucky, which they say is at its worst here in Magoffin County. Map the Meal Gap 2019 reveals that food insecurity exists in every county in Kentucky. It also shows that children are more likely to be food insecure, with the food insecurity rate for children at 18% compared to 15% for the overall population, including kids and adults, in Kentucky. Kentucky's food insecurity rates remain higher than the national rate of 17% for child food insecurity and 13% for the overall population. So here are how the numbers break down by comparison. Once again, Kentucky's overall food insecurity on the very top line is shown to be at 15%. Children, 18%. Oldham County has the lowest percentage numbers of food insecurity. Overall, for kids and adults, 7.6%. Their children, 11.7% considered to be hungry or food insecure. Magoffin County is at the opposite end of that list of 125, 125th, showing an overall food insecurity for children and adults at 22.5% and a scary 31.5% for children in Magoffin County. The chief executive officer of Feeding America was quoted as saying, "There isn't a single state or county in America free from child hunger, and it's within our collective power to change that and ensure that today's children are tomorrow's leaders." Also adding that the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is investing in our nation's future by helping to provide over 146 million meals to children every year. But still, Map the Meal Gap highlights much more that must be done. Feeding Kentucky, formerly the Kentucky Association of Food Banks, is comprised of 7 Feeding America food banks that reach all 120 counties in Kentucky and serve an estimated 1 in 7 of all Kentuckians every year. Last year, its members distributed 64 million meals in partnership with more than 800 charitable feeding agencies, such as pantries and shelters and soup kitchens and the like. And there will be more on that subject in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent, and more to come in the paper and here on the show at a later date. That being Heather Oney and myself, both reached out to Superintendent Scott Helton earlier today, who wasn't necessarily surprised by the numbers, given the fact that the school system has been doing after-school feeding programs, summer feeding programs, and others in an effort to try to help curb hunger, realizing the serious situation. But he and we will both be looking at the data, the sources, and looking for some sort of a campaign or something to begin. I'm not sure what the next step or result is going to be of this, but I think a lot of interest already in trying to work to decrease those numbers, and more importantly, make sure that all of our children are happy, healthy, and wise and fed. So more on that later. With that said, I'm hopeful to get to the baseball and softball fields tonight. I'm going to be mixing that in. We're trying to get ready for the Magoffin County Rescue Squad media auction, which starts about this time tomorrow night. So let's go ahead and on that note, get you caught up on the last 2 or 3 games that the Hornets and Lady Hornets have been in, and with 2 tonight here at home. I mentioned to you last night the Lady Hornets had a win here at home Monday night. It didn't have the score. That was a 12-4 victory over Morgan County. Then they had another game last night. This was a road game. They traveled over to Johnson County at Central and brought back a loss by a run. 4-5 was the final score. Only the 3rd loss of the season for the Lady Hornets. The other 2 against Paintsville. This is the first time they played Johnson Central. And that puts them at home tonight. First pitch was set for 6 o'clock. The ladies hosting Shelby Valley. Now, the girls here from Magoffin County going into tonight's game with a 10-3 record, 1 district win, 3 district losses. Once again, hosting Valley tonight at 6. They've got another home game, and actually that is going to be their next game Monday of next week. So they'll get 3 or 4 days off or 5 to rest after tonight's game hosting Valley. As for the boys, they too were on the road on the field Monday night. At home, they hosted Phelps. That was an 8-11 loss for the boys. They've lost now 4 in a row, with Magoffin County's boys sitting at 4-14 on the season thus far, a 2-8 record, and 0-6 in district play. They are hosting Estill County tonight. First pitch was also set for 6 o'clock. Well, the active weather pattern is back. It's going to start to crank up late tonight, more so tomorrow into your Thursday and through the latter half of your weekend. A bit of a break Saturday evening, maybe Saturday afternoon, and Sunday for sure. And then it's going to be back to that same old, possibly stormy song and dance. We're going to be high and dry for the next several hours if you're catching the early show, and a few if you're catching the late. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. I think right now the timing looks to be maybe after 2 o'clock or so. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. We'll fall back to about 64 degrees. Winds just out of the southwest, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 miles per hour, and only a 20% chance of those overnight showers. For your Thursday, a slight chance of showers in the AM to the tune of about 40%. That might last up into the latter afternoon. Thereafter, those chances will take a dive off to about 10% by tomorrow night. Your temperatures right around 80, 81, 60, 61 for the peak and low of your Thursday. Heading into Friday, the activity continues to ramp up. Showers are likely. Thunderstorms quite possible as well. Those chances really start to ramp up around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Daytime highs will be kept in check at around 78 with those showers and possible storms and mostly cloudy skies. Winds, with the exception of thunderstorms, should be right around 6 miles an hour or so out of the southwest. Maybe a quarter of an inch early, maybe another tenth of an inch later in the evening, with the exception of some areas that might get under some thunderstorms. Those showers and storms continue into Saturday, which is also Derby Day, mind you, with a good chance and quite a likelihood as well. We'll probably see things back off another 4 or 5 degrees down to 74 and 54 as a result of those showers and storms. Saturday and into your Saturday night. They look to hold on into Sunday to the tune of about a 30% chance, mainly before 8 a.m. Otherwise, the majority of your Sunday is going to be pretty nice, a bit cooler as that system rolls through, knocking us down to about 69 under partly sunny skies, and once again mostly dry for the majority of your Sunday. We'll rebound about 78, sunny and mostly clear, so 2 days in a row that we should be for the most part dry. Monday increasing into the upper 70s, mid-50s for nighttime lows, sunny and mostly clear. And then by Tuesday of next week, it's back to that active pattern. Only a slight chance of showers early Tuesday with some sunshine in the 80s. But after that, by Wednesday and later on, I think we're back into that stormy song and dance. And that's it. That's my time, as I referred to probably more than once and more than I needed to. A whole lot already on tap for tomorrow's program. In tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent, a host of news, reports, and information. Of course, our popular look back in our historical page as well, and a long, long list that, yes, I'm trying to find. But there is an absolutely wonderful story tomorrow that you need to read about a local young lady in a very male-dominated medical specialty, and how she has achieved where she is and where she is going in her profession. I sincerely hope that you pick up a paper, if nothing else, for this particular story. That's a great read, and may be very motivational for some ladies out there, and all of us. There's an inmate that's filed a lawsuit against the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, more on the food insecurity or hunger that I mentioned, of course, a few moments ago. A reminder about the city and county cleanup dates. 2 new Dollar General stores are open for business. Some information on the Special Olympics athletes and how well they did recently, and moms and children, more importantly, who might want to take care of this and do this for their mom. We've got a pretty sweet little collection of prizes to give away for Mother's Day, and there's a raffle in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent. Hope you get one for that too. And hope to see you back here tomorrow night for more of Your News Today.